Hello dear students, before we proceed to a new topic, first let us talk about its stability. Stability of halogen acid, highest will be for Hi and the least will be for Hf. When it comes to carbocation and radical, 3-degree product is always highest stable, followed by 2 degree and then followed by 1 degree. Now we'll proceed to the preparation of haloalkane and haloarenes. Let us see how haloalkane can be prepared. Firstly, we will see from alcohol. Haloalkane mostly can be prepared by treating this alcohol with any of this halogen acid or halogen halide, phosphorus halide or thionyl chloride. First, let us see how haloalkane can be prepared by treating alcohol with halogen acid. We have alcohol, that is ethanol, C2H5OH, when it reacts with HCl, halogen acid. Remember one thing, whenever alcohol having OH group reacts with halogen acid, what happens is this OH group is replaced by your halogen group and you will get water as the byproduct. Now you get C2H5 Cl, you can see OH is replaced by your Cl and we get here water as the byproduct. Instead of HCl, PCl5, PCl3, SOCl3 can be preferred. But however, instead of PCl5 and PCl3, generally you will see SOCl3 used mostly. This is 1 degree alcohol. Even if you use 2 degree or 3 degree, we will be getting the same product. The OH will be replaced by the halogen and we will be getting the water as the byproduct. It is given in your notes, you can check it out. Now let us see how haloalkane can be prepared when it reacts with SOCl2. When alcohol is reacted with SOCl2, how is the product formed? When alcohol C2H5OH reacts with thionyl chloride SOCl2, in each of these products you will see that OH group will be replaced by your halogen group C2H5Cl plus, but in this case we will get 2 byproducts in form of gas. You will get SO2 plus HCl, sulfur dioxide and hydrochloric acid. This will be in the form of gas. Remember one thing, alcohol will react with any halogen halide to give this product except HF. With HF it is going to react without giving any product. That means no reaction is going to happen, just because the bond between H and F is so strong that bond breakage is not possible. That is why when alcohol reacts with HF, no reaction will occur. Now let us come back to this. Let us see the mechanism, how it is formed. Let us suppose that C2H5 is R. Let us take a general reaction. Now here R OH plus SOCl2 is written in this manner, double bond O, Cl. Now oxygen has 2 lone pair. Now oxygen gives its lone pair to sulfur. The bond here get disturbed. That is why what sulfur do is it shifts its electron from the double bond to the oxygen. Now upon doing so, bond formation take place in this manner. Oxygen from the 2 lone pair, it is given only 1 lone pair, so it is left with 1 lone pair. It acquires a positive charge because it is given away its electron. So this hydrogen goes here. Now it forms a bond with sulfur. Oxygen already has 2 lone pair with a negative charge because the electron was given away to the oxygen, so it has an extra bond pair now. Now chlorine and the chlorine. Now here OH bond here will break and this electron will be given away to the oxygen, and this hydrogen is going to leave this very product. Now here, since one electron has been given away to the oxygen, our next thing will be this negative bond pair will return back to make a double bond once again. Now upon doing so, this chlorine will leave in order to maintain the stability. Now here what we will get is, upon doing this, we will get RO. Now here oxygen, it has acquired its electron, so now it has 2 lone pair. Double bond Cl plus, from this very reaction, hydrogen left and chlorine left, so we get H plus and Cl minus. Now in your notes, you will not be seeing what happens after the formation of this. After the formation of this, one important role is played by pyridine, which is not given in your notes, but you can see here. Now what happens is, we need to remove this hydrogen. Otherwise, this hydrogen will form HCl on reaction with chlorine, and we are not going to get our required product. Now in order to do this, pyridine absorbs H+. In our second step, pyridine having a lone pair, what it does is it absorbs the hydrogen and become in this manner. Pyridinium ion. Now what happens is, this is playing the major role because it is absorbing the hydrogen. We are also left with 1 chlorine in our reaction. Now this pyridinium ion will be attacked by that very chlorine which is left. We get pyridine again with the evolution of HCl gas. Now our overall reaction will be written in this manner. Upon doing this mechanism, you will get your final reaction, which will be in this form. This will be the final reaction. The first point was preparation of haloalkane from alcohol. The second one is from hydrocarbon. Now if you check your notes, it is not mentioned properly that it is from hydrocarbon. So it is from your page 294 in your textbook. It will be better if you modify it or you write it down as I keep on explaining. Now from hydrocarbon, it can be from alkane and from alkene. In your notes, directly it is given by radical halogenation. But this radical halogenation, you will be able to see only in their mechanism. Now this step is also not given in your notes, so please write it down. Now here, this is also known as by free radical halogenation. Why free radical halogenation? Because this step from alkane to get our haloalkane, radicals are given out. Now what is radical? Radical are basically molecules which will have at least 1 unpaired electron on the atom. So this radical means it will have at least 1 unpaired electron. Now let us see this reaction. Now this reaction from alkane, it will occur only in the presence of UV light or heat. That means light or heat is needed to initiate this reaction. Now here, methane, this can be any alkane and a halogen. Now in presence of UV light, 1 mole of HCl will be given out. Upon giving out 1 mole of HCl, this will become CH3Cl. Now this is not the only product. This reaction is such that it keeps on continuing until and unless all the hydrogen atoms are replaced by a chlorine atom. Now here, this will undergo further reaction. More chlorine, more moles of HCl will be given out. It will continue in this whole reaction. Now, upon giving out mole of HCl, it will become CH2Cl2. Now this one again, same will follow. Cl2 giving out moles of HCl, you will get CHCl3. Now again this one, it will follow the same process, giving out HCl. Now you will get CCl4. Now here, this is the final product. Why this is the final product? Because there is no more hydrogen atom to be replaced by the halogen. Now here, this is such a type of reaction that if you need a single product, it will not be able to give you a single product. So it is quite not a favorable type of a reaction, because if we want only this, we will never get only this. If our target is to get this, ultimately we will be getting this, because the reaction is not going to stop. Now this is known as your mono halo compound. This is your di-halo compound. This is your tri-halo compound, and this is your tetra-halo compound. Now, when this reaction, in order to get your haloalkane from alkane, you will be getting mono, di, tri, tetra substituted compounds. So if we need only one product, this reaction cannot be used. Now let us see the mechanism. Now if you are going to write this down, this is mono-halo compound, di-halo compound, tetra-halo compound, and tri-halo compound. This is also carbon tetrachloride. You can also write down their name, or you can simply write down in general format. Now in their mechanism, radicals will be given out. That is why it is known as free radical halogenation. Now chain initiation, this is the first step. Chain initiation, this means that the reaction will start from here. Now here what will happen is free radicals will be produced. Now since we are using chlorine, Cl2. What happens in Cl2? Cl2 can also be written as ClCl. Generally in our mechanism, we always try to show the bond, because bond breakage is going to take place. Instead of writing Cl2, we are writing in bond formed, because we have to show the bond breakage. Now here, this happens only in the presence of sunlight, peroxide, or high temperature. For forming radicals, these are the conditions that are required. Now here what will happen is homolytic cleavage or homolytic fission will take place. Now what is homolytic cleavage? It is simply this bond has a pair of electron. Now each one electron will go to each of the chlorine. Here radical itself tells that at least one unpaired electron will be present on the atom. So here, in order for these two atoms to have a single unpaired electron, from this bond, at least one electron needs to be given to each of this chlorine. Now here, you cannot denote it as full arrow. Homolytic cleavage is generally shown by this half arrow. This is known as fish hook arrow, because it is denoting that only one electron is going. If you make full arrow, it will indicate that two electrons have gone. So with this half arrow, it is indicating that one electron has gone here, one electron has gone here. Now upon homolytic cleavage, we will get radicals, that is chlorine with one electron and chlorine with one electron. This is known as radical. Now the second step is chain propagation. Now here what happens is free radical will form more free radical. So in our reaction we have methane reacting with chlorine. So here this methane, remember one thing, radical will react only with radical. It cannot react with a neutral atom or a compound. So here this also needs to be converted into radical. How it will convert into radical? By homolytic cleavage again. Now here, in order to form radical, the electron from this bond, one electron jumps here and other electron jumps on the carbon. So here we get two radical. One is H and the other is CH3. Now here chlorine has two possibilities, either to react with hydrogen or CH3. Now here chlorine, the chlorine radical will go and react with those which it can form stronger bond. Now if chlorine goes and react with the CH3 radical, it is not going to form a strong bond. But if Cl goes and react with hydrogen radical, it is going to form a strong bond. Now it can react with both. Remember that it can react with both, no problem. But it will want to react with only those, or only with that atom with which it can form a strong bond. So it will prefer to react with hydrogen. So hydrogen radical reacts with, chlorine radical reacts with hydrogen radical to give HCl. Now this one, upon homolytic cleavage, you will get CH3 radical and hydrogen radical. Radical reacts, gives a compound, and we are left with what? This radical, CH3 radical. The methyl free radical formed, it is highly reactive. Now it will not stay silently here, it will want to react again. So what it does is it goes and react or attack chlorine molecule. So the next step for this will be the methyl radical will attack Cl2. Now this Cl2, since we are going to write in the mechanism, Cl2 will be written in this manner. Now as I have told you that radical attacks radical, so this will also form radical by giving one electron each, going homolytic cleavage, undergoing homolytic cleavage, it will give radical. Now here what do we get? Cl radical and Cl radical. Now here it can react with any of the radical because it is the same. So radical will react and give you a compound CH3Cl, plus we are left with a radical. Now this is just for your understanding, you need not write in your notes. Now the chlorine radical from here, it will go and react with again CH4, forming the same reaction. That means this reaction is going to continue, it will continue till your CH4 or Cl2 vanishes. But in this reaction we see that H vanishes, then the reaction stops. So it will continue till you get your final product. Now in the final step, that is your chain termination, all the free radical formed in the entire reaction will come and combine. So in this reaction, what are the free radical that we have got? It is just chlorine and methyl radical. Now this is also rough just for your understanding, so you need not write this. Now here, these two radical that is formed, it will combine together. Now what are the possibilities of these two radical to combine? One possibility is that Cl radical will combine with Cl radical, CH3 radical will combine with CH3 radical, and the third possibility is that Cl radical will combine with CH3 radical. Now let us write down all the possibilities. Here Cl radical will combine with Cl radical, giving Cl2. CH3 radical will combine with CH3 radical, giving you CH3, CH3. And the third possibility is that CH3 radical will combine with Cl radical, giving you CH3Cl. Now this is the end product of the reaction. Now it will be better, instead of the notes which is there in your copy, to write down this, because this is the proper format. In your notes, half steps are given and it is not even mentioned properly. Now under hydrocarbon, the second topic is from alkene. How haloalkane can be obtained from alkene. Now this is also not given in your notes, but it is mentioned in your textbook. So it will be better if you write this down under this, under the topic hydrocarbon. Now here, from alkene, that means double bond, let us take ethene, CH. Alkene can be treated with halogen acid to give haloalkane. We will take any halogen acid. Let us take HCl, the most common one. It gives. Now here, addition will take place across the double bond. This HCl will break down into H plus and Cl minus. Now if we have symmetrical compound, we will get similar product. Symmetrical compound means when you divide into two equal half, you get the mirror image. That means you get the same thing on the both side. Now here it is the symmetrical compound, so upon addition we will get only one product, that is CH3CH2Cl. If your Cl goes in attack here, you will get this product, and even if your Cl goes in attack here, we are going to get CH2ClCH3. So we are getting the same product. So in case of symmetrical, you are going to get the same product. Now how bond breakage will take place, you can go through your Markovnikov's rule how bond breakage is taking place. Or you can, okay, let me show it here. It's not needed to write this down in your copy, you can just write only till this. Let us see the mechanism CH2 double bond CH2. Now to welcome the incoming H plus and Cl minus, what happens is, suppose if this one electron goes here, that means this is going to acquire positive charge and this is going to acquire a negative charge. Here HCl we have H plus Cl minus. Now H plus will go in attack here, the negative will go in attack here. So we get our product as CH2Cl CH3. Now the second possibility is that if electron jumps here, so we get CH2 negative and CH2 positive. Now here H plus Cl minus. Cl minus will attack here and the positive will attack the negative one. So in this case we get CH3 CH2 Cl. So in both the cases we are getting the same product. It is just arrangement is different, but you can also write this in this format. So in case of symmetrical we will get the same compound, but if it is unsymmetrical you have to follow Markovnikov's rule. The next method for the preparation of your haloalkane is the halogen exchange method. This is also known as Finkelstein reaction. Now this is already given in your notes, so you need not write it separately. Now this method is exclusively for the preparation of alkyl iodide. Now let us see the general reaction. We have haloalkane and your halogen can only be chlorine and bromine. Now here sodium iodide in presence of acetone will give you and NaX as the precipitate. Because your sodium halogen product, it is not soluble in acetone, so it is mostly found in the form of precipitate. So in this case, this R can be C2H5, let us take Cl plus NaI, sodium iodide, then your acetone, you will get your Ri product C2H5I plus your precipitate NaCl. Now here, instead of sodium iodide, if we have NaCl or NaBr or NaBr in presence of acetone, no reaction is going to occur. This reaction is only possible in presence of sodium iodide, no other halogen product. Let us check the density of haloalkanes. The first case, higher the number of hydrogen atom, the more density it will have. Here, you can see with increase in the number of hydrogen, the density will increase. The second case, more the number of halogen, higher the density. Here you can see the number of halogen is increasing, so density is also increasing in this order. The third case, increase in atomic mass, your density will increase. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, the density increases in this manner. So since the masses are increasing, the density will also increase in this manner. Now coming to the solubility, haloalkanes are slightly soluble or insoluble in water. But when it comes to haloarenes, they are completely insoluble in water. They are not at all soluble in water. However, haloalkane can be slightly soluble in water.